How's it going, ScrubGamers? Welcome back to another video here at ScrubGames, and for today we're doing a Never deck profile, and this time it's not so much competitive but a bit more casual fun, janky if you may call it that, and that is Red Wish Pilaf. So the inspiration came from this because I've got a new series on my channel that I've been doing monthly now, which is character battles, and those are basically where I like the Fight Night format where you play out best of 3, but you bring 3 decks to play out the best of 3. And anytime you use one of your decks, you can't use it for the rest of the game, so essentially playing out those 3 games with the 3 decks, like that. But the difference being that there's a theme regarding the leaders, where all leaders must contain the same a certain character on all 3 cards, and no matter if it's on the front, just the back, or on both sides, all leaders have to have that one character. And in the last one, if you've watched it for February, we have Trunks versus Barbary. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link in the description so you can see for yourself if you want to. And it is quite interesting, and you can use it to be more bring more janky decks, bring more interesting things. And one of them will end up being Pilaf playing, because Pilaf has 3 different leaders, because he's got a Pilaf on this side, he's got a green one in the same set, and he's also got a red one we got in the Universal Warriors block. And from testing that, I was I know Big O Notation, shout to him. He's got a massive hype for the green one because he's been enjoying playing that because of a legend of our locals. And I was enjoying recently when we got the Gotenks Unison spoiled Pilaf for a while, because the fact you can drop that in it, use the effect, give it triple attack, and then using the Gotenks effect you can have a quad attacking 40k triple striker, which was really fun and casual. And then I looked at this, thinking, with the PF battles, how viable will this one be? And this has been actually really fun. I've been playing it a bit, just playing janky matches and nothing really competitive, and I've had a decent win record with so far. I've been out of 6 or 7 games, only 1 loss, because if something that was pretty competitive meta that countered the deck being mono skillless Kidku with the Gogeta Xeno package. And that was the only one I struggled with, also because of the fact that I wasn't able to flip over until quite late. But this deck has been so fun. If you want to try something a little something different, or you play more a fun deck, then you can always give this a try. And plus, it's a Wish deck, which I love, and it's the only Wish deck of its colour, and it's nice to see that, given the support Bandai's given it recently, it can actually be a fun casual deck. So without further ado, with the leader, he's on the front side, he's Pilaf, then when he flips over it becomes Oolong, always wanting more, because is based on the Wish back when in the Dragon Ball saga, when Pilaf gets the balls, wants to make a wish, and Oolong comes in and wishes before he can make a wish for a pair of pants. And on its front side, he's got an auto of once per turn. When one of your battle cards attacks, that card gains 5k, and you can add 1 Dragon Ball card from your deck and or life, well, either from your deck or life to your hand, and then shuffle any area you look through. So it's got a nice way to look through. It's a little bit less than the black Shenron cards, like most Shenron Wish leaders. You only get to search once, and you gotta have a battle card attack, so it's really restrictive. It was not great. It was really bad when it first came out, but a bit more support over the time has given it ways to help you awaken quicker. And for its wish, it's like the old ones where when you get all 7 Dragon Balls in the drop, you can grab 1 desire card from your drop area to your hand and flip it over. And then when it is awakened, it now has an ability of its activate main to choose of 3 different effects, like old Wish leaders, where it's either draw 1, play a desire card from your hand that is either red or black. Well, yeah, basically activate the activate main on a desire card from your hand that is either red or black, whose cost of the card equals to or less than is equal to or less than the amount of energy you have. Which in this deck, you need to just have at least 2 energy to be able to play your desired cards. And then its ultimate skill, which is the one you remove 7 Dragon Balls for, is you draw 3 cards, and then you choose one of your battle cards, gives it 15k power for the turn, and then you flip it over at the end of the turn. So not the most busted effect, but you better draw 3, so that's pretty decent, and gives something 15k, which is not too bad. It's not the best, but sometimes it does come up when you get in certain situations. And that is with the leader. So it's just It's still an Earthling on both sides, just Pilaf on one and Oolong on the other. So it stays the Earthling, Shenron, Earthling, Shenron on both sides. Now with the deck, this is Wish deck, we have 7 Dragon Balls, that's what we're going to start off with. We're going to have all 7 Dragon Balls so we can get the draw, because these are just easy ones, just 0 cost, draw 1s when you see them, and you want to get you don't want to pay energy for balls and stuff, you just want to hurry and get over, flip over and wish. And we have quite a few ways to help get them in the drop. So not only with leader, we also have the King Piccolo Evil Ambitions that we got back in when we got the Power Booster set. Power Booster, when each of the Wish leaders got their each color in a certain set. I can't remember which set it was. Got a boost. I remember that was the one that we had the Goku to help go into Height of Mastery, which was busted at the time. But this one, it came out in the same set, and it was it's an auto where when you play this card, if your leader card is a red Shenron card, you choose up to 3 Dragon Ball cards from your deck, place them in your drop area, then you shuffle your deck. Then if you place cards in your drop area, you choose up to 1 A King's Return to You from your deck, and activate it, then shuffle your deck. And you might be wondering, what is A King's Return to Youth? It's not a great card, to be honest. It's a desire card, so at least make sure if you play this, you've got at least something to grab back, then the charge is only on your next turn, and that is 1 drop A King's Return to Youth. So this has got a permanent, like any desire card have, which gives it desire in all areas. And it's an activate main where if your leader card is a red Shenron card, choose up to 1 King Piccolo Terra Unleashed and A King's Return to You from your deck to your hand, and from your deck, add them to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. So we play 2 of these because typically you want to have this King Piccolo turn 1, so you can play it, chuck 3 balls from your deck to your drop, activate this, and this will activate, grabbing one of itself and the King Piccolo Terra Unleashed. Now I will go to Terra Unleashed because you might want to play it. Normally just charge it after you've charged the other King's Return to You. So normally this is the one nice thing about this is you can turn 1, charge something, play King Piccolo's Evil Ambitions, send a free, play King's Return to You, grab another copy itself of the Desire and the Piccolo. Then for your next 2 turns you have the King's Return to Youth and Piccolo the charge, so you got your free energy set up from turn 1, which is nice. But if you do want to play it, is a 4 cost 20k double strike permanent, where if a King's Return to Youth is in your drop area, which it would be from the 1 drop, then it's reduced by 1 in your hand. Then it's got an activate main once per turn if you've got Sparking 10, which you could easily pull off in this, which means Sparking 10 means you need to have 10 cards in your drop area. And then it's choose 1 King Piccolo's Terra Unleashed or A King's Return to You from your drop area and send it to your warp. And if you did that, and if your leader card is a red Shenron card, you switch this card to active mode. So the only benefit of that is you can pay it for free energy from your hand and then get 2 swings out of it because you have a King's Return to You, but you have Sparking 10, and it's not the greatest. Normally you just want to charge this. But it just means that we get as much value as possible off this King's Piccolo, and it is nice having that to set up these 2 cards for your next 2 energy, so you have to worry about what to charge, and gives you a bit of an advantage as well and thins your deck quite a bit, because you thin your deck of at least 6 cards, and yeah, if you've got any more balls, if you have a ball to that, or even combo off the Piccolo, then you have 5 and drop for Sparking 5 for something, if you need to. And then the next card we have to help, that we got the most recent support for this, is Get That Monster. Now this is an extra card, 0 cost, in an activate battle though. I thought it was an activate main when I first saw it, but no, it's an activate battle, so you need to activate combat, which is fine, since for your leader you need to attack with a battle card to be able to get the search for a ball. Or you can even do it defensively as well. Now it's a limit one, so meaning you can only activate once per turn, because apparently this card need a limit one because it would be too busted otherwise, I don't know why. But essentially, if your leader card is a red Shenron card, you choose 1 or 2 effects. You either add up to 1 Dragon Ball card from your deck to your hand and shuffle your deck, so only from deck, not from drop, which makes it a bit lackluster. Could have been better, it could have been from deck as well, drop as well. And the other option is add up to 1 red Desire card with entry cost of 1 or 2 from your deck to your hand and shuffle your deck. So that's nice in the fact that you can use it to either grab a Dragon Ball or Desire card, which is quite handy. And a Desire card you're normally going to be grabbing off this. It's not this because you're going to be sending it off by King Piccolo, but it is Familial Bonds. So this is came out in the same set as the leader as well. And this is the main one that's going to help you pull off some pretty decent plays and help get your pulls as well. Because you're not going to be using Get That Monster to search for a ball when you consider Familial Bonds and play it. Because it's a 2 cost, activate main, also it does have the same desire as a King's Return to Youth to have the Desire trait. but as if your leader card is red, you choose the one red Saiyan card in your drop area with an energy cost of 3 or less, a 15k power or less, and play it. If you played a card, you choose up to 2 Dragon Ball cards from your deck to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. So yeah, rather than actually using this to grab 1 ball, you can use this to grab familiar bonds and search for 2 balls, and you fill your deck with another 3 cards, which is fantastic. And we play 3 copy of this because you can play it a lot and you can get it back off your leader as well. And this opens this can play some pretty nice cards. So first one we've got that we can play off it is SSB Kaioken's on Goku, Concentrated Destruction. Now this isn't really what you want to play at. This is nice to grab. Normally you're going to be using this for its activate main, but sometimes you can bring it out of familiar bonds if your opponent tries to counterplay it, uses a counterplay on this because it's got deflect and it meets the requirement, so that's the new reason. But normally you want to use this for its other effects. And his auto only activates from hands, because when you play this card from your hand, choose all your opponent's battle cards with 20k power or less and KO them. Sometimes that can be handy, but it's just a pity that it has to be from hand, so familiar bonds can't put it from drop the nuke to the board. Be nice if it could. But the reason is inert because every deck needs barrier removal, and this has an activate main for 2 red if your leader card is red, and you use discard this card from your hand. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignore barrier, minus 25k for the turn. So that's barrier removal, and also it's nice to have a target as the target is familiar bonds. Then we have 1 Glory Obsessed Prince of Destruction Vegeta. So this is a nice one to help get over cards that your opponent have that are in active mode, to swing over them, because it's got a permanent where if your leader card is red, this card can attack battle cards that are in active mode. And it's also got an auto where once per turn when this card attacks a battle card, switch this card to active mode and it gains 10k power for the duration of the battle. So it's nice if your opponent's got 1-drop battle cards that you can't get over, or like barrier, like say if you're going against AOD and you got Babidi up, play this out from your drop, swing at the Babidi, and it goes 25k for the first swing and 15k for the second swing. It's just we have this as 1 copy just to help deal with bad cards if you don't want to pay 2 for Kaioken, or don't want to waste the Kaioken anyway. Or if you use the Kaioken, you're awakened and you can just fill in with once back out. And another type we have is my favourite one, which is Oblivious Rampage Son Goku. So this is one that it has critical, and it's got a nice activate main where once per turn by bursting 3, meaning you need the mill from top of your deck, top 3 cards. You choose one of your red battle cards to KO it, and switch this card to active mode. So this is nice to make use of this King Piccolo you might have from turn 1 after doing this turn 2 to KO it, mill 3 cards from your deck, and get another critical swinging, so applies that critical pressure. And we play 3 of this because this is the main thing we want to see for getting familiar bonds out. And then the next target we have is Fearless Pan, which is normally something you might want to do the turn after you've dropped Oblivious Rampage as well, because it can give it double strike, because it's a barrier blocker, so you got a defense and you got barrier, because your opponent plays charismatic. And it's also when you play this card, choose all your other red leader cards and red battle cards, and they gain 5k power and double strike for the turn. So if you get out bored of stuff, including your leader, giving them 5k plus double strike is great, especially giving your leader 5k and double strike means you've got that way to end the game for your leader if you want to. But it's just nice. This is just a nice target for it. And we play 2 of this because we want to at least see 1. And with how much you finger your deck through the balls and everything, and even bursting, you're likely to see 1 unless they're both in your life, which is not the most likely. And that is it for the targets, or the main targets you've got for this. Next one we have is one of the bigger cards we play is Son Goku Divine Presence. We play 4 copies of this because this is just a really good card, and it's a good way to end the game as well. Because it's a deflect dual attacker for 4 energy, but you're not going to be paying 4 energy for it. It's got a permanent where during your turn it can't remove from battle skills from your battle area by skills, which is great, meaning that no KOing or bouncing or spinning or anything like that. It's going to get rid of this on your board, which is nice. And it's always going to be 25k for both its swings because of its auto once per turn. When it attacks, you can add a 1 red skillless battle card from your deck to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Then this card gets 5k power for the turn. So the minimum it's going to be 25k swing every time it swings. And the way you're going to play it out is by activate battle, which for 2 red, if you have 3 or more energy, and you have 2 or more red battle cards in your combo area, play this card from your hand, then choose it to one of your mono red cards, and it gains 5k power for the turn. And this is great because you can either do it on yourself, on this Oblivious Rampage, on your lead, any mono red card. And the nice thing is that sometimes how I mainly finish people off with this deck is by getting the turn 4, swinging with this Oblivious Rampage on Goku, comboing 2 red cards, then paying 2 to play 2 of these out, and give themselves 5k, or even this 5k, so it goes up to at least 35, and then after that I can Familiar Bonds out Fearless Pan, give the 2 Goku Divine Presence a 5k boost and double strike, same with my Oblivious Rampage and lead, and then I at least have my leader for 25k double strike. This Oblivious Rampage to KO the Pan or something else, to give itself restand itself to swing again for double strike crit, and then 2 Son Goku Divine Presence, who will be at least either 30 or 35k double strike with 4 swings as well, which is great pressure. And the next card we have is free Brody Crown of Retribution. This is great because it's just a really great card in red. It's normally with Kaioken, it's normally a staple in reds to have these 2 cards, and this is great because of its effect, where it's just if your opponent leaves 2 energy open for a floodgate or something, you can check to see what's in the hand or force them to use the play stuff and can use one of his energy. Because of its effect is an alter where if your leader card is red, when you play this card from your hand, if your opponent has 2 or more energy in its inactive mode, your opponent reveals their hand and you get to choose up to 1 battle card from their hand that has 20k power or less and discard it. And yeah, this is really nice to pay 1 energy on, and even just use this before using Oblivious Rampage if they got any gates or anything like that, or what they're going to do, and then popping it with Oblivious Rampage to then restand it. Then next we have super combo choice being S Brody Awakened Attacker. Now the reason for this is because being a Wish deck, you don't have to awaken at a certain life total, so it's no guarantee that you're going to go down to 4 or anything for the normal super combos like Raditz and stuff. So we've gone for a Sparking 5 one because it's with the balls, it's very easy to get Sparking 5 in the drop. And another reason for that, so having a Sparking 1 is great, but also this is a Saiyan with 15k power. So not only can you use it to draw, but you can also use it super combo to draw 1, and then Familiar Bonds it back out to have a super combo again, say if you want to use it on a never attack if you don't have the ever targets in. So that's a great choice, I feel, and that's the reason we're running this one. And then the last, the next card we have is for Instructor Champer. Once again, a normal staple in most decks, not just red decks, but any deck, because the fact that you can just use this effect where you alter, which is an alter, when you combo this card, you choose the attacking card, give it double strike, which means it can do 2 damage in 1 swing. And we have 1 copy of that because we already got a lot of extra cards and stuff. We want to reduce the amount of uncomboable cards, or cards that cost energy to combo, so we've only got 1 for Instructor Champer, because it's always nice to have 1 just for when a situation comes up, but we don't always need it. And then next we have the last battle card in the deck, being the secret choice, and that is the SS Son Goku and Frieza Miraculous Conclusion. Now there's a reason for this, and that is because of the fact that this deck if this deck gets to turn 5, and you can play this without being countered, it could be very, very good for you because of the fact that his ultimate dual attack, he's got 3 permanents. Now, unlike the Frieza Army Reinforcements set from the Theme Booster 3, this one, both of them can be reduced by 3 in the hand and a certain condition. The Ever Frieza needs to go to 2 life to do that, which you're not always guaranteeing in this, so that's why we're not playing it. With this one, you just need to have 5 mono red energy to reduce its cost, because it's a permanent where you can play this card from any area using skills, and if you have 5 or more mono red energy, you reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 3, meaning that once you hit turn 5 and you're charging your mono red energy, which is all mono red because you're not going to charge a ball, you can instantly play this for 5. And it also has a permanent where this card can't be removed from your battle area by your opponent's skills, meaning that your opponent can't bounce this, KO it, anything like that. Once it hits the board, it's not going anywhere. And it also has a permanent where during battles with this card is attacked. Permanent during battles in which this card attacked. There we go. So when this card attacks, you can't use cards in your hand in your combo, and your opponent can't activate counter or blocker skills. So that means you can just swing straight at the leader. They can't use any counter skills. They can't even attempt to use counter skills to negate or even pull off a effect of a counter, or even activate the blocker skill. So when this attacks a leader, it's connecting and going at a leader. And it has dual attacks, so it means you're swinging twice, and at 40k that's quite a lot. And given that the fact that your leader can give it an extra draw 3 cards and give it an extra 15k, it's quite nice as well. And not only that, but you can also, if you didn't want to use that leader's ultimate effect, you can even use a Familiar Bonds. Bring up Fearless Pan. It's now a 45k double striker dual attack to help finish off. And the best thing about this is not just any of that, is the fact that with the activate main, is if your leader card is red and you remove this card from the game, you deal damage to your opponent. So a great way with this, if you drop this down, all you got to do is get your opponent down to 1, and then you win the game by using that, which is really nice. Now you could use ever secrets like the Kai or the Pan or anything like that, but I like this for the casualness of just being able to drop this turn 5, and either use the ult to give it 15k more power and draw 3 cards, or use Familiar Bonds to bring out Pan, use my leader's effect to give it double strike and go that way. Just if you don't kill him turn 4 with Divine Presence, dropping 2 of those in a turn, you can kill him with that. And the last 2 cards we got in the deck is 4 copies of Piccolo Jr. Descent of the King. It's just a nice extra card, and that's not an extra card, Unison, to draw you more cards turn 2 if you haven't got Familiar Bonds or can't find it. You can drop Piccolo to basically draw more cards that way, or even the turn 3 play if you're not going to drop a Divine Presence. You can play this, because it's got a nice auto when your opponent activates a counter skill. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards with 15k power and KO it. And then the +1 is just draw 1, and you have the -2 if you want to gain more life, which is you choose one of your red battle cards with energy cost of 3 or less, which you can easily bring up by filling with bonds. Then choose all your opponent's battle cards with power less than or equal to the card's power and then KO them. And then this card gains Rejuvenate, which is once per turn. Choose 2 markers, remove 2 markers from this card to gain a life. And you could have a card underneath for that, but you could always just slap down a never copy underneath. But yeah, it's probably the best red unison in the game at the moment, so we're playing that because it's cheap and easy. If you can, as soon as you get to turn 2, if you haven't got Familiar Bonds or something any other play, you can drop this, because this can also maybe lure attacks away from your lead, which is nice, especially if you can't awaken with the balls quickly enough. The last extra card we got in the deck is After a Missed Technique, because this is a card that can easily be triggered for free because of the fact that it's permanent, needs Sparking 5, and being a Wish deck you can get that, and adds extra defense, and especially since you don't need to worry about your life, about getting to a certain life total, you can get awakened to high life because you can awaken by turn 2 quite easily in this deck. And even though it doesn't get your attack, it can still defend almost any card, because if your leader's red, it's just a requirement. You choose up to one of your cards, just any cards, so be Unison card, Battle card, Leader card, any card. And it gains 4,000 power for the turn, and then you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards and minus 10k for the turn. So you get a nice 40k extra power for the battle, and then you get the minus 10 stuffing, which could be quite handy. Stopping one attack, minus 10 something else that can attack to make it less powerful. And as I said, it's permanent, is Sparking 5, where if you've got 5 cards in your drop, you can activate the counter skill from your hand by taking a card from your life to your hand instead of paying its energy cost. So you can tap out and kind of have that safety net of the After a Missed Technique, which is nice. But as a deck, it's nice and fun to play. It's really casual, and as I said, I've been having a lot of fun with it. And yeah, as I said, the turn by turn progression is normally you want to try mulligan for King Piccolo and get that monster, because King Piccolo will turn 1 allow you to put 3 cards from your deck to your drop, and then trigger the King's Return to Youth to add a never copy itself and the 4-drop King Piccolo to give you your next 2 charge phases, which is nice. So you get that advantage. You thin your deck by at least 5 cards there. You then also get to have 2 extra cards to charge, so you don't have to worry about charging. And then in any battle, either if you attack or your opponent attacks, you get that monster to add Familiar Bonds from your deck to your hand, and the next turn you can activate Familiar Bonds after charging one of the 2 cards you grab from the King's Return to Youth, and then use that to grab hopefully you've comboed off a valid target for it, normally Oblivious Rampage Goku, or just some target that's at least 3 cost 15 or 15k power, and then get the 2 balls, use that, and you can swing with what you pulled out to then trigger your leader's effect to grab another ball, and hopefully if you've seen a ball since then or haven't never get that monster, you can get that last ball awaken, and in turn 3 you have a bit of fluidity in the fact you can either play a King Piccolo Unison and a Piccolo Junior Unison, or a Son Goku Divine Presence to put some pressure on, because then once you awaken, if you can awaken that turn, you can get Familial Bonds back as a sire card at any point if you get a Fearless Pan in the drop. Just use that to give you a whole battle card board, 5k boost and double strike for the turn. And normally turn 4, if you get to that point, you if you see them, you can hopefully drop 2 Son Goku Divine Presence in the turn and pressure that way by dropping 2 of those and dropping a Fearless Pan. Or if you end up getting a turn 5, hopefully you'll see your secret rare by then, and then you can drop your secret rare, either give it 15k for your lead, Fearless Pan to give it double strike and 5k, and try and finish them off that way, which is great. And it is a fun deck, especially fun for fun and janky, which I enjoy. And yeah, that's the deck. So once again, thank you for watching. Feel free to give the video a like if you enjoyed this video. Comment down below if there's any tips or any advice you can give, or any changes you feel like you might. It's always get discussion, and this is still in the works. This is a build I've been using, trying to figure out like if I can change a few cards. I'm trying to get as much advantage off some of the cards. That's why I've got the King Switch and the Youth King Piccolo, even though they're not great. There's still things to grab off the King Piccolo to get full value out of that, and always chargeable as well. And lastly, feel free to subscribe. I do try to drop videos like this of less meta decks and more rogue and fun decks. And by doing that, you also get the updated when my videos drop, and especially by clicking the notification bell, you get alerts when my videos do drop. And it helps to get to my target of 1,000 subs, which I'm currently just over a quarter way there. So once again, thank you for watching. Have a nice day, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.